who brought you RuPaul's Drag Race and $1 Million Listing. This is World of Wonder's Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome everyone to World of Wonder's Wow Report on Radio Andy, where we count down the top 10 things from the past week that made us go wow. I'm Fenner Bailey, co-founder of World of Wonder, joined by the literary sensation Wow Report blog editor James St. James.
Hello, darling.
How are you?
I'm very good.
And filling in for Tom Campbell this week, Blake.
Hi.
I think we should start calling you millennial producer because
I think you're aging out of the millennial.
Right.
Well, do you ever do you age out of what was before the big baby boomers?
X, Generation X?
No, after. You're a baby boomer. I'm an X.
Are you?
Yes.
You were born.
I was born in '66, and the boomers started in '64. Or the X started in '64.
How dare you?
I am right on the cusp, baby.
Right. What are we talking about today? Good Lord, do you know? It says here. This is last week. We didn't have a show last week.
Right.
The Happy 4th of July. Yeah.
We didn't have a show.
That
was the first time in 3 years.
Over 3 years that we haven't had a show.
Did you have a nice little break?
Speeding towards cancellation.
But did you have a nice
That's
break?
How it starts. First they're like, take a holiday, take a vacation.
Yeah.
I did. Did you have a nice break?
I did. And then you're going on vacation next week.
Going on vacation? Yes. Can't wait.
Nice.
Bye. Thank you.
So it must be nice because, most of us say I need a vacation from my vacation.
Yes.
Fenton gets to a vacation from his vacation.
Yeah. Gonna go to Asia for 2 weeks.
Sweet.
Yes. Okay, so you can watch us on Wow Presents on YouTube. You can also, oh my God, I buried the headline. We had an earthquake.
Yes.
Several earthquakes.
Were you here?
No.
Oh, did you feel it in Palm Springs?
Yes, I
You
felt a
did.
gentle rolling.
I see. I
Yeah.
always get seasick right before it happens.
Did you?
It's a weird thing. Like it's because it feels like I'm on the ocean, and my whole building was doing
Was
this. It was pretty scary. Yeah, the first one was scary, and then the second one was really scary because it just went on and on and on and on.
But it wasn't a juddery one; it was a rolling one, right?
It was a rolling, but my building was rolling. I was rolling. But that's
You
a
were-
whole other story.
I was inebriated too, so it was just kind of fun.
You were in LA.
Well, they had just spent 6 months retrofitting my building for earthquakes, and and we bitched about it the entire 6 months because they were drilling it like 8 in the morning. But then, thank God they did because I would have just been pancaked. I would have because I'm right above the garage.
Was it that strong? No.
It was. It was a 7.1.
Oh.
That's bigger than the Northridge.
Well, yeah, but
in '92.
But it was the epicenter was like in the middle of nowhere where there wasn't anything. That's the reason.
Don't say
Northridge
that to
was
people
so
who live
big.
in San Bernardino County.
Well, I know, but yeah, the one in Northridge was way bigger because it did so much more destruction because there was so much more here.
Yeah. And also, I came in. I mean, in the studio now, there's bits of plaster on the floor. There's debris from the.
But if you look up
from
there, the whole building's about to collapse.
Yes. So we got to get on with the show. Do the countdown. What's at number 10?
Number 10.
Number 10, you can kill me later, but I did all Netflix things again as usual. It was just that kind of weekend.
I hope there's some kickback for you.
Right?
From Netflix.
At least a free Netflix account.
I watched Murder Mystery. Do any of you know what I'm talking about?
Adam Sandler movie?
And Jennifer Aniston.
It's Jennifer Aniston, Adam Sandler. It's a very generic title. It's a very generic sort of Agatha Christie murder mystery. Adam Sandler plays sort of a schlubby, of course, New York City beat cop. He's married to Jennifer Aniston, who's like a lower middle class beautician. You don't buy it for a second. She's like in Prada the whole time.
Maybe it's knockoff.
But then it also stars Luke Evans, who we hate. We
Why?
despise
Why
him.
do we hate him?
Because if you remember 10 years ago, he kept going in and out of the closet. He had a manager who told him to get back in the closet.
It's so rare that any male of any description that you hate, you're always like, they're the hottest guy in the whole world.
Well, he is hot. He's very hot, but he just...
He was the hottest guy of 2009.
It's true. He was in Beauty and the Beast. He was Gaston.
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
he?
yeah.
Yeah. Terrence Stamp is in it, Gemma Arterton, and Louis Gerard Mendez, who's in the new Charlie's Angels. And the story is that he's been promising to take her on a honeymoon for 15 years. He finally takes her to Europe. They're on the plane. They meet a Viscount who played by Luke Evans, and he invites them on a yacht. When they get on the yacht, it's very Agatha Christie. The lights go out. There's all these crazy characters. Someone dies, and then they're suspected. So they have to. They're being chased through Monaco. Blah 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 blah.
Not good.
No, it's fantastic.
Oh.
It's fun. It's like you just sort of sink into it. You just sort of treat it mindlessly.
Why does everyone hate Adam Sandler so?
He's Republican, right?
He's a little and he's annoying. He really is annoying.
Well,
But-
maybe not a Trump supporter, but
But it's interesting because they do very good job of making you understand like the class distinctions that we all feel at some point, where you're no matter what, there's always someone who's richer than you, who's more fabulous than you, and everyone goes through it at some point, and they're they're very schlubby Queens characters, and they're just suddenly surrounded by these hoity-toity, rich Europeans. And I just went through this the night before I watched this, where I had gone to dinner with two friends who are doing very well for themselves, and they invited this British aristocracy to come sit with us, and the conversation soon turned to what everyone's summer plans were. And the one girl said, well, I'm doing Marrakesh, then Capri, then Montenegro. And the other one was like, no, darling, no. It's Lisbon, then Marrakesh, and then Portofino. And then everyone was sort of comparing. And I was like, well, I'm going to Michigan next month. And I just I felt like this feeling that the whole sort of movie is based on these sort of schlubs. They end up on a yacht and they're way out of fish out of their element.
Right.
And it's just fascinating because I felt like this. I know you must have at some point in your life where you're sitting with the Queen of England and you just think I can't compete on this level that they do, right?
I think, yes. I mean, I haven't sat with the Queen of England, but I've been in situations where somehow osmotically people figure out what you have, or more to the point, what you don't have.
Yes.
And then they just screen you out. It's like
Well,
you
that's
just don't exist.
I was a lump of. I was
They-
a lump next to the. Once she realized I was going to Michigan and she was going to Montenegro, I ceased to exist.
Well, yes, because yeah.
And
do we know this hoity bitch?
No, that's just it. I've been Googling her frantically ever since, trying to figure out.
Well, maybe she was just faking it.
No, she wasn't. She totally wasn't. But there's that thing where I know a lot of famous people. I've swum in that sea before and everything. But at some point, you always come up against someone who puts you to shame. And that's sort of what the whole gist of this is that these two characters are made to feel like crap the entire time. And yet they end up being the ones that are, the most interesting and the most fun at the very end. So anyway, it's just a fascinating.
It did well, right, on Netflix.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's worth watching because they're just it's just. Yeah, life on a yacht.
Yeah.
Just fabulous.
Okay.
Darling, Blake, what have you got for number 9?
Number 9.
Well, for number 9, I wanted to talk about Drop Dead Gorgeous is now streaming on Hulu.
What is Drop Dead Gorgeous?
I've never seen it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Drop Dead Gorgeous is a mockumentary that follows the contestants in a beauty pageant called the Sarah Rose Cosmetics Mount Rose American Teen Princess Pageant.
And what year was this?
This is 1999.
And who stars in it?
Who stars in it? We've got the two leads are poor girl Kirsten Dunst, who lives in a trailer. Okay. She's trailer trash. Mm-hmm. Rich girl Denise Richards, who plays Becky Lehman.
And Denise Richards was just a mere slip of a thing. She was a young.
She was actually, I read, she was 28, and
she's playing 18.
Kirsten Dunst, was 17, and they're the same age. They're rivals.
What year was this?
1999.
Oh.
It was not a hit when it came out. In fact, it cost $15 million to make it, and it only brought in 10.5.
But it's become a cult.
It's become a cult. I went to see it in the theater with my friend. There's a scene in it where the last year's winner of the pageant comes out, and she's anorexic, and she sings Melissa Manchester, and it was just really because the
It
friend
spoke to you?
the friend I was with was anorexic. Sorry,
Oh.
I buried the lead. So I was kind of
Was
watching
that
it like,
awkward moment?
yeah, it was kind of like, I didn't know
But
about that.
what is it about this that speaks to you? It's white trash
Well,
in the
Is it
South.
It's funny,
well,
right?
it's Minnesota. They talk with the
Oh,
Minnesotan
okay.
accent.
It's sort of like a Waiting for Guffman type thing.
No,
or,
it totally. It's a mockumentary, like a mock documentary, and
Well, haven't we
It's
done
good.
Ellen
haven't-
Barkin and Kirstie Alley play their moms.
Oh yeah, uh-huh.
And Ellen Barkin is hilarious. Her best friend is Allison Janney.
So it's a lot of really good people.
Allison
I
Janney.
don't think she does.
Yeah, Allison Janney actually. It's just like her role in I, Tonya, except you like her. Like
I love her in
I know
I, Tonya,
she
though.
is white, but I mean,
But
you
she's a
like
good
her.
person.
Well, sort of. She's like white trash and always trying to hook up with the. Can one of you boys give me a ride to my trailer? It's just down the block, you know. And then the trailer blows up, and Ellen Barkin goes flying, and she says she ends up ass up at like a lawn ornament in someone's flower bed, and she ends up with like a Pabst Blue Ribbon can, like super glued to her hand. It's hilarious. You should watch it.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why you haven't seen it, James.
No, but I do have Hulu. I've got Hulu.
This was Amy Adams' first movie ever, too.
Really?
Yeah, she played one of the pageant girls. Brittany Murphy was in it.
Good God in heaven, this is quite a cast.
Mindy Sterling is hilarious in it. And in 2011, Allison Janney actually said that she gets approached about this movie more than like The West Wing.
Huh.
Yeah.
Drop Dead Gorgeous streaming on Hulu. So did you watch it again?
Oh, yeah, I
How
watched
many,
it
how
this
many
weekend.
times have you seen it?
I've actually bought it twice in the Walmart $5 DVD bin. One time I bought it, and then my sister stole my copy, so I bought it again. And I still have it and have watched it recently, but I did watch it on Hulu since it's on Hulu.
Oh, fantastic. Well, at number 8,
Yeah.
Number 8.
I wanted to, this is actually, Blake, this is also from 1999.
Awesome.
A show started in 1999. Do you know what it was?
No.
Legendary show.
That 70s show?
It's legendary too, but I don't know if it was 1999. SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah.
SpongeBob SquarePants turns 20 years old this year.
That is crazy.
And I have
I've
to tell
never
you,
seen an episode.
Oh,
You've got to.
James, I feel we should stop the show. You should go watch one, and then we should reconvene because
My favorite.
SpongeBob SquarePants was made for you.
You would love it. My favorite episode is when him and Patrick, his best friend, find dirty words on the back of a dumpster, and they're saying these words, but for kids, it's just like dolphin noises. It's hilarious.
I've never been able to understand what the appeal is.
But you haven't seen it.
But I think I've seen like 3 minutes here and 2 minutes here, and I've sort
They're
of
like 15-minute episodes. They're serials, darling.
There's been actually like 245 episodes. I mean, it's still going. It is a huge
and
classic hit.
it's queer in that isn't like Patrick gay or one of them's gay. Who's
I
gay?
think they're pretty much all gay. I mean, SpongeBob himself like has a very gayish voice, but it's such a crazy concept that
they live in a
who
pineapple,
lives in a pineapple under the sea.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
and they work at a
Porous
crab
and
shack.
yellow. No, something and something. And porous,
Porous is he, yeah.
he.
And then they
Right.
serve like they're cannibals and they work at a crab shack.
Crab patties.
Crab patty.
Yeah.
No, Mr. Crab serves crab patties.
Well, why would a crab sell crab patties?
They're just called crab patties.
They're just called Crab Patty. The entire
Because he's Mr.
series,
Crab.
250 episodes, revolves around the same essential plot, which is Mr. Krabs, who owns the House of
Krusty Krab.
the Krusty Krab, has the burgers that everybody wants, the patties that everybody wants, and then there is a single cell organism called Plankton who is evil and married to a computer called Karen, who is trying to steal the secret formula.
yeah.
And every episode, almost
Doesn't
every
it
episode,
get a little redundant every episode for 250
but
episodes?
James, it's like Stephen Hillenburg, who created this, took crack
Even
and
Gilligan's
cocaine
Island got boring after like 2
and
years.
Kay, and just went into it. It is the most trippy, drug-inspired thing you will ever see. It is so brilliant. It is so layered. It is so jam-packed with jokes. It's like MST 3000 meet. It's very postmodern. They're always breaking the fourth wall. There's a whole episode where they go to like a theme park where everything is bubbles and people are bubbles and chaos ensues. There's a whole Atlantis episode with King Neptune.
Now, I do remember that when you guys went to the Broadway one, and you said that it was probably the most brilliant Broadway show you've ever seen.
It was.
So okay, I'll do it, I guess.
Yes. And there's been 2 hit movies, right?
Also, there's been 2 hit movies. I mean, it's a juggernaut of franchise. The reason I wanted to mention it is very tragically, sadly, Stephen Hillenburg died this year.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to wish him and SpongeBob a happy birthday and a rest in power, but I don't know, something's always come up. But this week,
you watch it with Elliot every day?
Well, it was Nolan's favorite show when he was a little boy. I mean, Nolan still watches it. We still watch it every morning, and it's Elliot's favorite show. He comes down in the morning, still sleepy, says, I want my show. I want SpongeBob. And he just watches SpongeBob. And we all watch SpongeBob. We'll like eat our dinner watching SpongeBob. And it's like the Golden Girls in its own way. It's like begin our day with SpongeBob and we end the day with the Golden Girls.
Well, it's like that show I talked about, Rocco's Modern Life, where they wanted it to make it as interesting for the parents as for the kids.
But it is.
Right.
But it is, and there are really adult themes in this. And the characters really are adult characters. Like Squidward is this misanthropic squid who thinks he's a brilliant genius.
Well, Squidward is the one that's sort of like a bitter old queen, right?
There's a lot, yes, and then there's Mr. Krabs, who's incredibly mean and cheap, whose daughter is a whale.
Yeah,
who's
Pearl.
Pearl, who's incredibly spoiled and entitled.
Have a whale?
Exactly.
Yes. I mean, that's it. I think I was sort of trying to find. It's interesting because there isn't a lot. Hillenburg didn't give a lot of interviews. No, there's a tremendous amount of substance. This is Shakespeare. But there isn't a lot of media about it. He didn't give a lot of interviews. There isn't a lot to talk about. But one said that Hillenburg actively reveled in the collapse of all sense. And it is the joyous anarchy of the show. That's why, James, I can't believe you've been denying yourself.
I'll do it.
SpongeBob SquarePants. And there's one of my favorite characters is Gary the snail.
Yeah.
SpongeBob has a pet snail called Gary.
Oh, I have heard that, yes.
He also has...
it's very much like Rocco's Modern Life. In fact, I think the same guy might have created it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Rocco had like a dog, but I think it barked like, I don't know. It was like some weird thing.
I don't know this Rocco you speak of.
Oh, well, you've also got to check out Mrs. Puff, who is teaching SpongeBob how to drive. Because they're under the sea, but they drive speedboats underwater. And Mrs. Puff is what are they called? Blowfish?
I think so.
And SpongeBob always gets her worked up, so she goes poof. She goes poof. And she hates SpongeBob and wants him dead. It's incredibly dark and mean. You would like that. It's trippy and dark and mean.
And it's on Netflix?
It's on
Hulu?
It's on the Nick app.
That's right. That's right. It's streaming on the Nick app, and it's also on, what is it, Nick Jr.?
Nickelodeon's Nicktoons.
Yeah.
Nickelodeon's
That's right.
Nicktoons. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a question for us.
All right, let's take a break and get the question.
Well, we're going to be talking about The Lion King coming up, the very special guest.
We have a very special guest.
So this is about The Lion King.
Okay.
The team working on The Lion King was supposedly Disney's Team B, who were kept busy.
This is the original Lion King.
Right, the animated one, while Team A worked on this film, on which the production had much higher hopes. As it turned out, The Lion King became a huge critical and commercial success, whereas this film was met with mixed reviews and a much lower box office. What was it?
Wait.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So Team B did The Lion King, and Team A was working on something else that was going to be a much bigger hit, but it didn't turn out that way.
Yep.
You're listening to Wow Report on Radio. Andy will have the answer for you right after the break.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report.
Welcome back to the Wow Report. I'm Fenton. I'm here with James James and Blake. Tom is away this week filming something. I wonder if you can guess what it is.
I couldn't even.
60 Minutes.
A little show we made. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Chloe's revenge body.
What was the question, Blake?
So we're talking about The Lion King. This question's about the original animated one. The team working on the film was supposedly Disney's Team B, who were kept busy while Team A worked on this film, which the production had much higher hopes. As it turns out, The Lion King became a huge critical and commercial success, whereas this film didn't. What was the film?
I'm going to say Pocahontas.
It was actually Pocahontas.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
who knew?
Right.
I did.
So we're counting down the top 10 things that make us go,
Wow.
wow. And we've reached number 7.
Number 7.
Is that me?
James, it is you, yes.
I have fallen into a yummy mummy hole. Do you know what I'm talking about? Does anyone have any idea what this is?
I think I might know.
Okay, Yummy Mummies is an Australian reality show that is batshit bonkers, absolutely insane. It is the worst of humanity. It is the most vulgar people on the planet. It is it's like Real Housewives if they were all pregnant. It's these incredibly wealthy women who are all expecting, and they're all competing with each other to see who can have the biggest bridal or baby shower, who can have like the biggest push presents. Who they're all just
It's
hateful.
like The Real Housewives.
It is like the Real Housewives, but it's also Jersey Shore. It's like like I said, all the worst elements of humanity. They are truly jaw-droppingly vulgar. And there's this one standout who is Maria. Now, did you watch a little bit of this?
I didn't.
Oh my God! Okay,
I'm going to right after this.
Would you all promise me to watch this?
If you watch SpongeBob,
I
I'll
will
watch a Yummy Mummy.
Yeah, all you need to do is watch 1 or 2 episodes, and they all have like these big, like Pete Burns lips, and they all have like plastic surgery nightmares.
Wait, this is a series?
It's a series.
Is
Yes.
this like how many seasons?
It's 3 seasons.
3 seasons.
And
they're always pregnant?
Well, so far, the first season, they're all pregnant. And they're just like competing with each other. And they, this one woman, Maria, and she talks like Pete Burns. It's just very crazy. But she has a closet. She's obsessed with Versace and Moschino and anything labels. Everything is labels. The whole house is Versace. And she has a closet for her child that's yet to be born. She has the first 14 years of his life with all the outfits from Versace.
I did watch the trailer and saw that.
It's just insane. And
And she was like, I think they're all jealous.
Yeah, she's completely clueless. They all hate her. She thinks they're all jealous of her, and it's just the way it just keeps spinning more and more.
Is it real?
It's totally real.
Yeah.
But because and not to disparage the Australians who are listening to us, because I know we have a huge Australian audience, but they just don't get it. It's like everything is a little off. Everything, it's like the conspicuous consumerism of like LA or Beverly Hills, but it's taken to the nth degree, and it's like completely bonkers.
Where are they based in Australia? Are they in Brisbane?
The Maria is in Brisbane, and she wants she's trying to upstage the snooty Melbourne people, which apparently like Brisbane is probably like Arkansas.
Brisbane is like Vegas. No,
Okay.
they call it Bris Vegas.
Okay.
It's the glitzy capital, whereas
That makes
Melbourne
sense.
is more
artsy and
yes, more yeah.
That you sort of get that right off the bat, that she's like trying. She's the country mouse who's trying very hard to impress the other.
In fact, in Brisbane, there's actually a Versace hotel.
Well,
The
that
Versace
totally
hotel.
makes sense.
Yes.
Because her mother, it looks like Donatella Versace, dresses like Donatella Versace. She's like an old
So
woman
fabulous.
with plastic surgery.
Want to go?
But you can't help but sort of fall in love with them, because they are so out there. It's unbelievable. I have been watching it nonstop since Saturday. I'm obsessed.
How many episodes per series?
Well, I couldn't tell you that, but I do know that they did. Maria left after the second season because she said that she was being portrayed poorly and she was being made fun of by everyone across the globe.
So don't watch season 3.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just fascinating.
I will totally watch. That is right up my
That is
alley.
one of the great gifts of Netflix, isn't it? Is it brings you TV series from around the world
Yes.
that you would never ever get to lay eyes on otherwise.
I know. I was wondering what made James like be like, ooh, Yummy Mummies. I'll watch
I
those.
know.
Well, I'll tell you, because Netflix is always suggesting things for me. Remember when they suggested all these like Japanese teen soap operas that I needed to watch, and they were right. They're always right. I went through this like Japanese like soap opera phase forever.
Oh my gosh.
That's Yummy Mummies on Netflix. Blake, number 6.
Number 6.
Well, I've got another digital. I streamed another show, but it was on a different streaming service. TLC. Do y'all ever watch
TLC?
anything
Streaming?
on Yeah.
The network
Well, I watch TLC Go.
or the band.
TLC, the network.
The network, yeah. The Learning Channel.
Okay, yeah.
Well, you can watch some trashy TV on the app. 2 of my favorites, Honey Boo Boo, of course.
Sure.
And Gypsy Sisters. Have you ever it's so good. It's like...
Can you even say that though? Isn't that you can't even say the
Gypsy Sisters?
You can't say the G
That's
word.
the name of the show.
What do you say now, though?
You said the Travelers.
The Travelers. The Traveling Sisters.
Well, no, I think
They own it.
Well, they love... they have T-shirts that say Gypsy List. Anyway, that's not even what this is about. I've been binging I Am Jazz. Have you guys ever watched I Am Jazz?
No, but this is a massively retro experience for you because I Am Jazz has been on for a few years. Is it still running?
It's been on since 2015, and they just announced the 6th season.
Yeah.
And what is it about Jazz that pulls you in? What is it about her life?
Jazz is a young
Trans girl. Yeah.
She's a young girl from Southern Florida who happens to be trans, and it follows her and her mom and dad, and her dad is really hot.
Oh, ding, ding, ding. Now it makes sense.
Oh, well, now James will watch it.
And her 2 twin brothers are really hot. Their names are Griffin and Sander, and then her older sister is Ari, and then their grandparents are Jack and Jackie, and you would love Jackie.
Okay.
I love that he saves the grandparent for you, James.
Yeah,
James,
right.
you would really
Thanks.
love the grandparent.
Well, as soon as you see her, this actually premiered at the same time that Caitlyn Jenner was given her award.
I remember, yeah.
And do you guys?
And where is Caitlyn now?
Well, actually, I was reading this for the GLAAD Awards. The year that's premiered, it tied with I Am Kate, and it was also up against Our Transcendent.
Oh, okay. Didn't win.
Yeah.
So how old is Jazz now then? She must be.
She is just about to go to college, and she's going to Harvard.
Oh.
Yeah. And here's pictures of her grandmother. She's so fabulous.
Oh, I love her. Oh, my God, that's me. Oh, my God.
She is so hot. I love her.
Oh, my God.
Love her.
That is totally goals.
So, yeah, do you guys know what suppressed means? Like in terms of transgender? So Jazz was suppressed, meaning like she didn't go through male puberty.
They gave her hormones.
Right.
So she didn't go through puberty,
Right.
which makes it much more easy if you don't develop secondary sexual characteristics.
Right.
Your voice doesn't break.
Change, and
things like that, and you don't get.
Well, right.
Yeah.
I'm up to, I think we're past this on the actual show, but I'm binging it and I'm in the middle of season 4, and she is talking to her doctor, who is Dr. Marcy Bowers, is doing her.
Oh, it's Marcy Bowers.
Yeah,
Oh my
is
God.
doing her.
Is she Sex Change Hospital?
Yes, she is, which is
She
another
did one
title
of
you
our
can't
shows.
say these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a show World of Wonder did.
Back in maybe last century. It was a long time ago.
It was
for Channel
before
4.
I started here,
Well,
and
I
I've been
think it
here.
was Chris, though. Chris
was Chris
McKim did it,
McKim,
so it was
yes.
probably 2004.
And every
2000.
episode we followed Dr. Marcy Bowers performing gender reassignment surgery
Right.
on different patients, and we'd tell their whole backstory as the operation is happening.
Well, that's
great.
why I love this show too, because it's really like educational for me, at least. Like you learn, like I didn't know what suppressed mean, and right now I don't know how it ends up, but right now since she was suppressed, she doesn't have much material to work with for like a penile vagina.
TMI.
Well, I mean, but this is what
happens.
Yeah, this is what happens. This is real life, but it's really good. I suggest you watch it.
I
It's
think
on.
what was also groundbreaking is it was following a young kid going through
Right.
that process.
Yes.
Right. Whereas, for example, up to that point, partly because of the medical advances, but also partly because of social tabooism, or whatever you want to call it, repression, generally when we made Sex Change Hospital, Dr. Marcy's clients were much older people who'd often lived, been married, raised kids, and often it wasn't until their parents had passed away that they felt the freedom to express their true gendered selves.
Right.
And so she was often operating on a lot of people who were in their 50s or 60s. And so what was so breakthrough about Jazz was it represented this whole new generation of kids who didn't have to grow up, go through
Right.
puberty, live with this awful sense of I'm in the wrong gender. And the miracle of hormones for kids is that you can stave off puberty until they can choose what they really want to do.
Right. They talk about all of that, and she says that, this is one of the first times I've seen this because now the kids that have been suppressed are growing up to be of age to get their, bottom surgery.
Right,
so,
right.
Anyway, I am Jazz on TLC
All
Go. Tons of other good shows on TLC Go, too.
All right. Number 5.
Number 5.
It's you.
Well, we have a very special guest here, and I'm a little apprehensive about sharing the story, but I'm going to go ahead and share it anyway. So,
I know what you're going to talk about.
Your
new addiction.
No, absolutely not. It's not no. So, as some of you may know, probably everybody knows, I'm probably the last to know, pot has been legalized in California. Probably actually even maybe some years ago now.
It was 2007 when I moved here. I don't
It
know
was
how.
legalized
it was
in
not.
California?
It might
Yes,
have
it
been decriminalized.
Well, no. In 2007, I got my medical marijuana license.
Right, but now you don't need a medical
Right now, you don't need a
marijuana
license.
You could just,
but it was
that a
easy to get it
recent thi-
before.
Okay, well, I never tried. And the long story short, some sort of possible pot documentary project has come along. And I thought, I really need to educate myself more. So I went to the pot dispensary around the corner on Cahuenga and
Now,
Hollywood.
Nolan, close your ears.
Yeah.
Had you never experimented or anything as a teenager?
Well,
You never?
Yes, I had, but I never really. It was never my thing. It was never my thing. I was
Right.
never like.
No, I hate pot. I do not. I am not a marijuana person.
And on more than one occasion, I've had edible experiences where I've like.
See, I've never
eaten it,
done edibles. I've never
Nothing's
tried.
happened for like 90 minutes, and then I eat the rest of the bar of chocolate, and then I have to go to bed at like 3 in the afternoon. I actually went to the dispensary, and it was very strange, very weird.
Which
but
one?
It's up on Cahuenga, up here near Hollywood.
Okay.
And I got buzzed in, and you hand over your driver's license.
That's a
and-
nice one.
Well, right? Oh, there are less nice ones?
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's like a candy store, and you can
It's
just
like a candy store,
Okay.
except that you don't really browse. You wait in line, and then someone helps you, and they say, "What are you
Your
looking
herb
for?"
tender.
And then they
Bud tender.
Oh, it's a bud tender, and they were so enthusiastic.
Oh, wait, bartender! Ha!
They were so enthusiastic and just up. I mean,
And you tell them, you say, "Listen, I'm tense. I need something to calm down."
Yes, they're like,
or
what sort
too,
of thing are you looking for? Yeah.
or I'm too. I need something to make me hyper. Or
Right, there's mood uplifters, and I thought I got a gummy that made me go to sleep. I took this thing.
No, that's just a little gummy.
It was a little gummy, but with a big effect. I kept on waking up in the middle of the night, and everything was spinning. And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm not going to be able to go to work in the morning." And then,
And you came to work, and
I-
your pupils were
I did
dilating,
come
and
to
everyone
work.
was
I
like,
don't know
"Were you
how I
paranoid
drove
that
my-
everyone was looking at you?"
I wasn't paranoid. I was just like a zombie.
Was
And
he scared that we were going to walk by? Like we're scared that
know.
he's going to walk by?
Yeah.
the parking lot was completely empty, and I could not park my car. I couldn't get the car in between the lines.
And he has a self-parking car.
He has a self-parking car. Oh my god, that's so funny.
And I just imagine people up in the building looking down on the parking lot, like, "Oh, look, he got parked his car." So I wouldn't describe.
And then were
the
you
whole-
giggling nonstop during meetings all day?
No, I just was not. I clearly think whatever they say the pot plant is a miracle plant. I started watching. There's many documentaries on Netflix, as it happens, like Weed, The People, and Grass is Greener. These documentaries sort of tell you the history of pot, because I hadn't realized that. But in addition to being a 5,000-year-old medicinal plant, it's only the last sort of 50, 70 years that it's been criminalized. And also
nobody,
it was...
remember, in the 1930s, there was-
jazz and jive,
Yeah.
it's specifically related to pot.
There was the marijuana scare movies of the
Yes,
30s.
Reefer
the-
Madness.
Reefer Madness, yeah.
Yes. And ultimately, that is a very ugly story, because it's ultimately it's a story of racism in America, and the criminalization of pot was very much basically a white versus a black thing. It's a fascinating story. But I just haven't yet.
So you're gonna, it's your new favorite thing in the world, and you're going back to as soon as we leave here.
No, I tried the mood uplifter. Oh my God, I was so not depressed, but just it was the opposite.
Did you
of
crash
uplifting.
afterwards? Were you exhausted? What happened?
Yes, I was in sort of fog. It's like I just don't think I have the right. Something's wrong with my brain.
I don't think you should do pot to uplift,
Yeah. But now they seem to be able to extract all these different aspects of it.
Yeah,
right?
but I think it's still pretty much, it gets you in a down. It just means, like you're not so down, I guess. But I can't really tell.
I always find that it stretches time out so that, imagine if we were doing this show, it would feel like I'm in 6 hours. I don't know. Actually,
well, tell us, Blake. Are we in 6 hours?
It feels fine to me.
It's funny.
Yeah, so that's my strange trip to the prop dispensary.
Well, no, because I remember my mom would try it. She was in her 80s, and it was the first time she ever tried it. And she would just giggle for like an hour. She just thought that it was, but she didn't like it. She got a little nervous about it.
Yeah, it's supposed to. Was it as an appetite stimulant? Because that's often
it was
what they use
because
it
she
for
wasn't eating.
People having chemo,
and she was having her arthritis. It helped her arthritis as well.
Yes, it's supposed to be amazing for pain relief.
Yeah.
Amazing for chemo-related sickness in terms of cure, and amazing for shrinking tumors, and amazing for preventing seizures. So like
wow,
as opposed to K, which causes seizures and causes tumors. Right.
I've got another trivia question.
Oh, well, we have to take a break then. Let's have it.
Well, this is another one about The Lion King. This is about the 94 animated one again.
Yeah.
The Lion King was the highest grossing film of 94 worldwide, but the second highest grossing movie in the U.S. of 94. So what was number one? In 1994 in the U.S.?
You're listening to the Wow Report on Radio Andy, and we'll have the answer for you right after the break.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report.
Oh, welcome back to the Wow Report. I'm Fenton here with Blake and James. We have a very special guest coming on in a little bit. But first, give us the answer to the question.
Well, let me tell you the question first.
Well, why don't you? Yes.
The Lion King, the 94 animated movie, was the highest grossing film of that year worldwide, but the second highest grossing movie in the U.S. So what was the number one highest grossing movie in the U.S. in 1994?
Oh, I know, Titanic.
That was 97.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember 94.
Would you elaborate on that?
It's Forrest Gump.
Oh,
Did you get that right? Okay, so what are we doing? We are counting down the top 10 things that made us go, wow. And we've reached number 4.
Number 4.
Is that me again?
It is you.
Well, I'm going to give this one to you because we both watched this. It was no, you did. You told me you did.
I did not.
Tim Bailey, you said he was excited to talk about it.
Oh, I don't know. He said, "Is anyone
here's
talking
what
about
happened.
it this week?"
Okay. Here's what happened.
Let's just say right off the bat, Wanda Sykes, the new normal or not normal or something like that on Netflix, her stand-up comedy special.
Right. I did send an email around saying, this could be something to talk about. So what I did is I downloaded it on Netflix, and that's as far as I got.
Well, I took up the ball and ran with it because I watched it, and I thought that we would talk about it because I don't really have anything to say about it except that Wanda Sykes is one of those people that
who's really funny.
She's very funny, but she's not really on my radar, and I don't really go out of my way to watch anything that she does. But once I'm there,
you love it.
I'm there. I'm really and this is what she's absolutely hysterical. I a lot of times I bitch and moan about people of this generation, artists of this generation, who aren't taking on Trump, and because they don't want to offend their red state, fans.
Right.
And like a lot of singers aren't, like in the '60s, everyone was doing anti-war songs and this and that, and nobody was afraid of alienating a fan base.
Right.
But Wanda Sykes is
People
not.
are afraid.
They
it's
are
surprising.
Well, For years, Taylor Swift would not do anything because most of her fans were from southern states. So I get very frustrated that I don't think people are doing enough anti-Trump, comedy and singing and everything.
Right on, brother.
Right. But Wanda Sykes is not afraid to take on Trump, and she is absolutely hysterical. The first hour of the show is just anti-Trump jokes, the whole thing, one after the other. It's so good. Then she she's married to a French woman, and they have a child, and so there's a lot of comedy there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then for years she didn't talk about that either. She kept her lesbianism on the DL.
Well, yeah, I do remember when she came out.
Yeah, but now she's completely out, and it's sort of refreshing. She also talks about menopause and this and that. But it's absolutely hysterical. I really recommend everybody watch this.
Well, and she was one of the people. She was one of the first to quit Roseanne. After Roseanne,
she was
one of the
and then
for
the
season one
producers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
before it became the Connors.
Yeah, she's cool. She's really cool, and I had hoped that you would watch it because
I am definitely going to watch it. I think it's amazing the way Netflix has just stolen the comedy stand-up special from HBO.
Totally,
because they did Hannah Gadsby, they did the
Tig
Ellen.
Nogaro.
Yes.
Yeah,
you see of billboards all the time for
and
new,
who's the cute little guy who used to write for SNL? John something or other.
Oh yeah, Mulroney.
John Mulroney. Yeah, I love him so much. He's so wonderful. Yeah. You know who I'm talking about?
Well, I'll totally check that out.
Yeah.
Well, that's Wanda Sykes, Not Normal on Netflix. At number 3.
Number 3.
I don't know if you know this, James, but I've been going to Canada quite a lot for the last 9 months.
What? Why? What are you
Is
doing?
this after you go to the dispensary?
You go to the dispensary, you go up to Canada to get a hotel room and trip for a couple hours, then you come back.
Yeah.
What? What are you doing in Canada?
I've been working on a secret deal. There's no longer secrets.
Oh, okay.
Drag Race Canada is coming. Drag Race
Yes.
Canada, Queens of the North.
Well, it's interesting because Canada had a drag series, remember?
Yes, Canada's a Drag. Which
Canada's
is
a Drag,
made
yes.
by Peter Knecht.
Yes.
And it was on the CBC.
Cutie Peter Knecht. He's adorable.
Lovely guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how does he feel about this? Are you taking his thunder?
I think he's embracing it and
He is.
supportive and is saying any way I can help.
Now, a lot of the girls from that show, I remember we featured on the WoW Report, and I've done little reports about them and everything like that. Fascinating looks, everything. Are any of them... Are you doubling up? Are some of them on Drag Race Canada?
Like Brooklyn Heights was from Canada.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Was she like registered as New York Queen when she?
Brooklyn Heights, New York Queen, but happens to be Canadian.
Right.
It's interesting looking into this. One of the first things when this all first came up, the Canadians were like, well, it's hard because we don't really have an identity. And then you start looking into it. And in fact, Canadians, oh my God, they're everywhere in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
The amazing Jeffrey Bowyer Chapman is Canadian. I mean, Schitt's
Jim
Creek,
Carrey.
one of the best shows
Ever.
Jim Carrey. This idea that Canada doesn't have an identity is an extraordinary, fake, non-real inferiority complex.
But I think that they're very they aren't braggarts. They aren't like America. They sort of downplay how fabulous they are because they are fabulous.
They are totally fabulous.
And I mean, where have you been going? Quebec or Montreal?
I've been going to Toronto.
Toronto. I love Toronto.
The lovely thing about Canada is basically empty. There's
I've
just
never
vast
been.
expanses, and it's
Toronto
clean.
is it's New York, but
Yeah.
without all the people.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's as artsy as New York. It's as
Yeah.
fabulous as New York, but it's cold and there's not a lot of
And
people.
you may see Drake.
And
Drake, who's also
you might
from.
also see,
also Canadian.
you might also see Peter Gation.
Well, yeah. One of my favorite things about Canada is Degrassi,
Yeah.
and that's where Drake.
Well, like I
began.
said, Schitt's Creek. Does it get any better?
Right.
It does not. So very excited. That's going to go into production later in the year, and will be. You know where you'll be able to see Drag Race Canada?
Where?
Guess.
On Wow Presents Plus.
On Wow
Shut
Presents
up.
Plus. That's right. Our premium streaming network. How
Only
much is it?
$3.99 a month.
Thank you, and less than a
cheaper
lot.
than
Yeah. Well, I'll totally be watching that, and I'll also post on the Wow Report how you can sign up.
Exactly.
If you are
Please
a queen.
do. Yes. And if you're Canadian and you're listening to this, it's going to be on in Canada on Crave. We've worked with many years with Out TV, who've been showing Drag Race US,
Mm-hmm.
and they're very helpful, and they've been partners in this. And it's going to be Drag Race Canada is going to be on Crave, which is a streaming network, and Drag Race US will also be on Crave. So it's a big. Canadians going to get a lot more Drag Race.
Love it.
Tom number. Tom.
Aw.
Aww. James St. James, number 2. You
Yeah.
again.
Number 2.
Forbes just came out with their list of the highest paid celebrities of 2019, and the list is incredibly shocking. This is not their total net worth, but just what they earned in the past year, okay? Now, who do you think the number one is?
Ariana Grande?
That's what I thought, too.
Not even close. Taylor Swift. And do you know how much she made?
500 million.
Why does everyone go to 500 million? No, nobody makes $500 million in a year, Fenton. $185 million.
That's all?
No, but that's a lot. If you think just 1 year, I mean, she's
Totally,
obviously, inching towards $1 billion at least.
185 million in my lifetime, I would be happy with.
Exactly. Kylie Jenner.
I was surprised that she wasn't number one because she is the world's youngest billionaire or whatever.
Yeah, she only made $170 million this year. But
Slipping.
Yeah, exactly. Kanye West was number 3, which is weird because I don't quite understand.
Yes, I thought Kanye West was basically gone.
I thought in his Yeezy line, I mean, it can't be making 150 million. How does he do it? I don't quite.
But are the Yeezy shoes, is it more popular than we know?
Maybe. I don't know. One of the other interesting ones to me was number 5 is Ed Sheeran. Who made $110 million
He didn't even really have an album out this year.
No, he didn't. But he writes a lot of his music, and he writes songs for other people. He writes for Justin Bieber, which I imagine that the songwriting is what.
Where's
what it
Gaga?
Is. Gaga is way down in the 80s, I believe. Dr. Phil McGraw is number 9. The Eagles are number 8, which is like, how do you even do they just have that, backlog of music?
Back catalog, not
back catalog.
Maybe they're one of the only ones that own all their music.
Yeah, Rush Limbaugh is number 18. Elton John is number 19. Jay-Z and Beyonce tie at 20 with $81 million respectively. Ellen makes less than Beyonce, but she walks away with $80 million. Robert Downey Jr. is $60 million a year.
I can't believe Kim Kardashian is so far down.
Number 26 at $72 million.
And Kanye West is so high up.
Yeah, Ryan Seacrest is $71 million. Katy Perry is number 41. She only made $57 million last year.
And she probably wouldn't have made all that if it weren't for the new American Idol.
Probably, yeah, because she made $20 million, I think, for that. Yeah, that
What?
was just the signing. Yeah,
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Rihanna is $62 million. She's at number 36. Interesting. I mean, it's just some of them are Judge Judy. She used to be number 1. She's number 59 now. Number 100 is Shawn Mendes, or he's 98. I would have thought he would have been much higher.
But he also just started his career too. So.
That's true. Calvin Harris is 95. He only made $38 million. I just think it's fascinating what these people make, and it's so outrageous in proportion to what they're worth.
But do you think it's not really, they may make that, but they don't get that, because if you take half off for taxes and then they've got their managers and their agents, I mean,
so you think they're all basically paupers?
I think what accrues to yes, in a way, actually, I do think a lot of it is sort of magical math and that they fatal subtraction, and there's really.
Well, I know a few years ago it was like people were saying Gaga had spent most of her money putting it all back into the show,
right.
So.
Yeah.
Well, I'll totally post that list or link the list on the Wow Report.
Fascinating
I thought
stuff.
you were going to talk about Tom York's Anima.
Well, I do want to talk about it, but we'll have to save it for next week when you're gone, because it is
Tom York's Anima?
No. Tom York and Paul Thomas Anderson have created a 15-minute music video that is just absolutely bizarre.
And it's on Netflix. So everybody can watch that and hear James's review next week.
Well, I'm going to give up my seat for the extra special guest.
All right, we'll be right back after the break.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report.
Welcome back to the Wow Report. I'm Fenton here with James. I am very proud and honored and excited to introduce a very special guest today. My son, Nolan Bailey.
Hello.
Hi. You have to speak right into this thing. Like,
Hello.
there, exactly.
Nolan, I don't know if you know this, but you are you were frequently mentioned on the show. Your dad is
Ariana
always
Grande?
yes. Your dad is always talking about you. So this is exciting for everybody to see what you look like and what you sound like and what thoughts you have going on, because you are You are actually like a fourth member of our team.
Thank you.
You just don't know it. Also, I think I need, before we go into this,
Yeah.
you are a bit of a Lion King.
Well, right. So should we say?
Yeah.
So the number one thing that made us most go wow this week is.
Number 1.
The Lion King world premiere.
That's right.
The red carpet
Yes.
here in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But like I'm saying, you know everything there is to know about the Lion King because you starred in the Lion King a few years ago
Yes.
at your school, and you played
Young Simba.
You played young Simba. So
Who's young Simba?
So young Simba is this character, the main character of the story Lion King, born into the royal family, has a dad, mom, and an evil uncle named Scar.
yeah, Scar, evil Scar.
Scar wants to take a place as king, so he wants to kill Mufasa, which is the dad of Simba, and Simba too.
So now in this version, who plays Scar and who plays Mustafa? Do you know the voices?
Mufasa play James Earl Jones.
Who was in the original,
Yes,
right?
he was in the original.
And who we know is the voice of AT&T and Darth Vader
This
and
is CNN.
and Arby's, the Arby's commercial.
And Darth Vader, right?
Yeah. And we've got the meats, the Arby's, you know. It's Arby's. It's a commercial. It's
What
a
am I saying?
Oh.
Oh no! Yes.
Chuitel Uijar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? How do you pronounce it?
I don't know.
Chuitel. Wait. I can't. Let me see. Chuitel Ejiofor.
Yeah,
Ejiofor,
who played
something like that.
Scar in
Uh-huh.
the new live
And is he
action.
good?
Yeah, he's good.
So this was the world premiere
Yeah.
of The Lion King.
Yes.
Live action.
The live
Yes.
act, not the animated, because the
No.
animated was out years ago, right?
Yeah, 94.
Yes.
Okay.
And so when you go there, for which we start from the beginning, Beyonce is walking down the red carpet,
Yes.
and you see her.
Yes.
Oh, you saw that the
We're-
sparkly outfit.
Sparkly outfit.
Yes.
You got the shiny jewels on her.
Yes.
Blue ivy.
And sort of in a little identical
Yeah.
outfit, yeah. And she's got her hair like sort of like 20s style, like sort of like plastered to her head, yeah.
Yeah.
And then did you see who else was there?
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover, who looked so fantastic in that
Yes,
suit.
I love
Yeah,
the suit.
Is he in the
Love
film?
suit.
Is
So
he in
good.
the
Yes,
film?
he's
Yes.
playing old Simba.
Oh,
Okay. And Donald Glover can do no wrong in my book. I think he is so cool. He's very good. Who else was in it?
J.D. McCary, who played young Simba.
Okay.
I'm so bad at remembering names. John Oliver.
Oh, okay. Oh, is he one of the Timba, the weasel? The no.
Zazu.
Zazu, the fluttery bird.
Oh, right. Okay.
And who is what does Billy Eichner play?
Billy Eichner.
Yeah, Billy Eichner. He's
Well, who's Kimba and
just take
Timba and Tumold.
Pumbaa.
Pumbaa is the warthog.
Yes.
And Timba is the
Seth
little,
Rogen.
Timon.
the little
Timon. Meerkat.
meerkat. Yes. That is for the people on the radio. I was making a meerkat with my hand. So, what do you think? Does it live up to it?
It does live up to it. There's vibrant colors. It's beautiful, beautifully shot.
You
And-
really feel like you're in Africa.
Yes, you do.
Uh-huh.
And it may seem weird that animals can, like, the mouths are moving and it seems weird to talk, but it's a subtle movement of the jaw, and so you're kind of already surrounded by this environment of Africa that
So you're buying into it.
right, and you don't really you focus on the character voices, and that's what you really pay attention about, the character of the voices, the emotions of the characters from the voices.
Because one of the complaints that it got some amazing reviews.
Right.
People were
Yeah.
just raving about it this morning. I was hearing on the radio that people were saying that it's one of the best cinematography you'll ever see in your life.
Right.
Some of the CGI is some of the best and
Yes.
most subtle that you'll ever see. But they were saying that animals can't really emote, and that one of the things was this like the cartoons, you could see like their anger and their sadness and frustration and happiness, but the real animals really aren't making any faces.
But they
Well,
aren't real animals, are they?
They are real animals. You can I can see the emotions. I feel like you need to look at the whole body motion of the character itself. So like maybe the ears are like floppy a little, or
Right.
like the character may seem scared, so it'll be
Like tense,
Yeah.
or moving like that. So you have to watch the whole
Right.
thing as a whole. And did you cry? Were you swept up in the emotion?
I think I did cry when Mufasa died.
Oh, everyone
It's
cries
so
when
sad.
Mufasa dies. Yeah, and then the big lifting the baboon who lifts him up. Right? Doesn't that happen? There's when he
Oh,
lifts him-
Rafiki? Wait, what?
Isn't it like you shall be king or something like that? Like the baby.
You're
Oh,
right.
in the beginning of the film?
yeah.
Circle of
Yes.
life, isn't
Circle
it?
of life. Yes. And that was your big number. You saying that you want to bust out a few bars for us now?
No, you don't. Tell us about the party, the after party, because that was pretty off the hook, right?
That
Wait, you went to the party?
Yeah, so the party was on the Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I took a picture with young Simba and Nala,
Okay. Oh, yeah.
and they had these booths for like activities for grown-ups and kids. So it's like you can make warthog slime.
Oh, do you have any?
I have brought some with us.
What? Oh, how cute! Oh my God, a little
Oh,
cookie.
sugar
Wait,
cookies in paw prints.
And then
Those
this
are.
is the slime.
Let me have a feel of the warthog
Yes,
slime.
you go ahead, take a.
Why is it warthog slime?
And then you got
Ooh.
some.
That's a patch.
James, have you watched slime videos?
No, but I
You did, where people just put their fingers in it like this.
Well, I mean, I grew up in the '70s, so I there's a lot of slime when I was
Did you
growing
make
up.
the slime?
Yes,
It's a little. I mean, I don't want to be critical on something. It's a bit water.
it is
It
weird.
just
It's
makes
weird.
that disgusting sound.
weird,
That's
yeah.
so gross. And
You
then what
make
else
your
you
own-
got? You got a
You can make bracelets.
Uh-huh. Put it on. Nice. And then what?
Did they have food?
So they did have food. I'll get to that.
Oh.
So there are other stands outside, like Pride Rock. They just give you a rock, and then you can color it however you want to with, I think paint can colors. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Paint can markers.
And was Beyonce and Blue Ivy just walking
my
around
God.
at the booths?
So, funniest thing.
oh,
I know.
The warthog slime is.
So we're sitting on the mezzanine, and 2 minutes before the movie finishes, without the credits, we see Beyonce leave the theater, like walks out the
She
door.
had to go to the bathroom, probably.
No.
Beyonce doesn't go to the bathroom, Benton.
And we didn't see her at the Alfred party, and so we're like, maybe she just walked out, and she didn't want to really take any pictures, because also during the beginning, you know, there's the lady who interviews each person from the cast. Beyonce didn't do that.
Really?
No.
How is her song?
It was just beautiful. Her
Wow.
voice
She's
with Donna Glover.
releasing an album
And
of,
then-
of Lion King related
Yes,
songs.
see, in the new movie, she does a new song named called Spirits,
Uh-huh.
and it's just her, and then mostly just her singing, and it's Simba. It plays when Simba journey back to the Pride Lands.
Okay. I also saw Raven Simone at the party. Did you see her? I was watching. I was looking at pictures earlier. There was Raven Simone was there, and Niecy Nash, I guess, and gosh, I'm trying to think who else. There was a lot of famous people. I'm sorry. Oh,
It was a real blowout. It really
Yeah.
was. They
Were you
seemed
there?
to
Did you
Disney.
see- did you
I
go?
was not. I was not
did you
invited.
go
I
with?
was
Who
not
did-
invited.
How did you get invited? What's
First of
going
all,
on?
I would like to thank Jen and Jazz for inviting
Jazz?
me.
I am Jazz?
No,
Oh, okay. Oh.
bad.
Jasmine Elliott, who writes for Awards Daily.
Oh, right. Okay.
Fantastic.
She got invited to the Lion King premiere, and so she invited me.
That
Thank
is
you.
sweet.
Thank you.
And you just
you
at
rec-
home?
I was. Yeah, I was in New York.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, and they started giving out these Lion King highlight packets.
What? Circle of Life highlighters. Search on. Nice. Oh, it's not open yet.
Are you giving that to James?
Yes.
What? Oh my God! No, that's so sweet. Thank you. But you think that this is going to be the big summer blockbuster, the summer blockbuster.
I think it will be. Yeah.
And will you download the soundtrack?
I'll play it on Alexa.
Okay. But you really enjoyed yourself.
Yes.
Good.
I think Crawl is going to be the big summer blockbuster.
Oh,
Speaking of that, during the premiere, the premiere for Crawl was also happening.
really?
Where was
And
that? At the same
I
theater?
don't know. It might
Crawl,
have been
in
at the
case
ArcLight.
Crawl is the alligator attacking movie.
Because
yes.
every summer there has to be a Jaws-type movie of indescribable awfulness that people flock to see.
Yes.
You know, because last year I think it was The Meg. I think the year
Oh,
before
I
that it
remember
was
The
The
Meg.
Shallows.
Yeah. Was the Shallows the one with Blake Lively?
Yes.
Yeah, I
And there was
love Blake
also
Lively.
the Piranha one. I think it was called Piranha. I just love these like summer blockbuster Jaws-type films. Do you
I
want to see
don't-
Crawl?
No,
What? I'll see Crawl.
Yeah,
I'll go see Crawl.
We'll go
with
see
you.
Crawl.
I think you'll like it.
the Lion King.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for that. I will definitely go see it.
Well, that is the Lion King premiere as reviewed by Nolan. Thank you so much for coming along and
Thank
joining
you for
us.
inviting me.
Yes, come back anytime.
Definitely.
Okay.
Go.
In fact, your dad's gone next week. Do you want to come back? Do you want to do one?
Yeah, come back next week. Oh, you're gone too. We're going on
You're
vacation.
gone too.
Okay.
Thanks for tuning in to the WoW Report on Radio Andy Sirius XM. Listen to previous episodes on our YouTube channel, WoW Presents. Or if you really want to splurge, go watch Work the World on WoW Presents Plus, which is our premium streaming network. I say premium, amazing quality, but only $3.99.
10 queens, 13 countries. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
Unprecedented backstage
Yes.
access and shenanigans. Okay, so we'll see you same time, same place next week. Until then, go out and do something that makes the world go
Wow.